feel like audiobooks are really having a moment right now, which I love to see because I'm an obsessive audiobook listener. I generally listen to over 100 audiobooks per year, so I do consider myself an authority on the subject. If you're new to audiobooks or looking to get into them, here are recommendations in 5 different genres that I think are great starting points. Memoirs are always amazing on audio, and I think they're a really great starting point for beginners because I would say 90% of the time they're read by their authors. That just makes the listening experience feel so immersive, and it feels like you're kind of in conversation with them rather than just experiencing the book from above. Some of the best I've ever listened to that I highly recommend are Born a Crime by Trevor Noah, Nobody Will Tell You This But Me by Bess Kalb, Finding Me by Viola Davis, and I'm Glad My Mom Died by Jeanette McCurdy. I also love a romance on audio, and I think the best way to get into romance audiobooks for a new listener is to find duet narrations. That means that both of the narrators are involved throughout the entire book and they're not like taking turns on different chapters. Some of the best examples of these are all of Brynne Weaver's books, Deep End by Ellie Hazelwood, and If Not For My Baby by Kate Golden. And I will also plug one solo narrator romance, and that's Thank You for Listening by Julia Whelan, which is also narrated by Julia Whelan. Julia is one of the most prolific audiobook narrators, and her voice work in this book is so good that it feels like a full cast, even though it's just her. When it comes to a literary fiction book, my preference tends to be for a solo narrator, because most of the time these books are very character-driven, so you really want to live inside the mind of your main character. Some of the best I've listened to are Tom Lake and The Dutch House by Anne Patchett, Adelaide by Genevieve Wheeler, The Lilac People by Milo Todd, and Spectacular Things by Beck Dory Stein. Fantasy is a genre that I read a lot of, but rarely listen to. When it comes to heavy world building, I like to have a physical book to look at, especially if there's a map I need to refer to. But some fantasy books that I think are incredibly well done on audio are The Adventures of Amina Al-Sarafi, Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil, The Works of Vermin, The Fifth Season, and Legends and Lattes. I personally don't read a lot of thrillers, but when I do, I listen to them on audio. I think the fast pace of a mystery or a thriller really lends itself to the audio medium, and some of my favorite mystery thriller horrors that I've ever listened to are Not Quite Dead Yet by Holly Jackson, Black Sheep by Rachel Harrison, Out There Screaming, which is an anthology put together by Jordan Peele, and Wrong Place, Wrong Time by Gillian McAllister. And I'm going to throw in some wildcard narrations here at the end because I think there's something so special about a really well done full cast audiobook. Daisy Jones and the Six is a really good example of this, and I think is maybe the best starter audiobook. But some other really great full cast ones to add to your list are No Two Persons, When the World Tips Over, The Favorites, Real Americans, and Chain Gang All-Stars. Let me know if you're interested in more audiobook guides. I can get more broad, I can get more specific. I am so passionate about audiobooks, and I hope this guide helps you find your new favorite.